Yesterday, we told you that corporate cop ASIC is taking an interest in a movie released today that's called Dumb Money. The movie, directed by Australian Craig Gillespie, documents the rise and fall of America's meme stocks, the game stock retailer, the movie theatre company, AMC as well. Here's just a little reminder of what that's about.
Babe, how much did we make today?
5 million.
How much did we lose today?
$1 billion.
And yesterday?
4 million.
And yesterday?
$1 billion.
But ASIC decided that this was the perfect chance to send a message to interested moviegoers, a captive audience, if you like. So this is what will play before every session of Dumb Money in Australian cinemas.
We've all seen fake experts promising endless riches, but the reality is, buying into their schemes is the same as setting your money on fire. Invest in facts. Don't get burnt by hype.
I spoke a little earlier to Clarissa Aldridge, the Executive Director of Markets at ASIC.
Look, thanks, Ross. Thanks for having me today. It is a bit of a unique approach. We actually saw that the UK regulator had done something similar with the release of Dumb Money in the UK, and we thought what a fantastic opportunity to directly reach the target audience, to get straight through to those investors who might be using social media, who may be influenced when they're making their investment decisions. So this is really about ASIC trying to adapt to the needs of consumers and recognising that many consumers aren't using our traditional communication channels. And the message is pretty simple. It's one of caution, just to not get caught in the hype and invest in the facts. And I think that's really timely at the moment with the recent spike in crypto prices this week, actually, and there's a lot of hype around that on social media.
This is the reality that you as the regulator, you've got to keep up with technology and keep up with the way in which people communicate. And the fact of the matter is that with influencers out there, you've done a lot of work to try and bring them to heel, whether they're giving unlicensed advice or not, or creating investment schemes. It's a matter of you staying up with the trends of the way people are communicating.
That's absolutely right. And you're spot on about the influencers. And I think the messaging around this campaign isn't just about the pump and dump activity that we saw with GameStop. It's absolutely about all forms of social media hype. There's been a lot around influencers. As I said, there's been a lot around crypto. And really, we encourage everybody just to think really clearly about what it is that they're investing their money in. If they don't understand what the issues are, if they're not paying for something and it appears to be advice or a recommendation, just to think really carefully about why it is they're receiving that information and what's in it for the person who's giving that information.
And that's the bottom line, trying to get the message out. What's in it for the person who is promoting this to you? But I guess even in the case of GameStop, it wasn't so obvious, was it? Except for everybody trying to pump up the price of the shares, and it was the last one holding the parcel. And ultimately, in most of these sort of scams or schemes, is the one that loses the money.
That's absolutely spot on. I think this one was a little bit different because the incentive behind it initially was to gather incentives, momentum to get other investors involved to take action against some big hedge funds. But there was so much hype and the price increased so much that lots of investors got caught on the way up and at the top. And as things go up, they've got to come down. And there are a lot of investors, a lot of retail investors who lost out. And actually, in the case of GameStop, some of the biggest winners were actually other hedge funds who bought into the hype as well and used the opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to ask you one thing. Here in Australia, do you get a sense that there are people, vigorously trying to manipulate the market? Do you see it? I mean, you see it on, the bulletin boards, on the chat rooms, all that sort of stuff. There's all sorts of, weird sort of, if you like, exchanges of information going through. Some of it may be informed, but a whole bunch of it not informed. Is it something that you find it difficult to clamp down upon, or is it something you're actively trying to really stop?
Look, we had a period 12 to 18 months ago where there was a really concerted effort amongst some people on social media trying to pump up prices on ASX-listed stocks. So we were very proactive, participating in some of their chat rooms to discourage that activity. So we have seen that activity. We still see it playing out now in the context of crypto. We do see it a little bit still in some of the smaller stocks, equity stocks, but in a less blatant way. So it definitely still is an issue that's out there. And I think as long as there's an opportunity to use social media and other avenues to corral people together and influence people, and you've got individuals who are incentivized to make money at the expense of others, we're going to continue to see these sorts of activities.
I guess the name of the movie in some ways says it all, Dumb Money. That's pretty much what people are going to be conscious not to be having, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Clarissa Aldridge, Executive Director of Markets at ASIC. Good to have you on the program today.
Thanks so much for having me.